Hello and welcome to the Doctor BMS channel, the Body, Mind and Soul channel. Today, I would like to talk about a topic which is very important to all of us. And I'll be talking to all the parents who may view this channel. And today's topic has been motivated by a discussion I had with one of my neighbors at the beginning of this week. At the beginning of this week, I got a call from one of my neighbors who invited me to their house to speak to their 5-year-old child and her nanny, because from what she told me, a 5-year-old child likes to throw tantrums and to fight with the nanny. So she was inviting me to her house to have a discussion with the child and the nanny. And I said, okay, while I will make time to help my neighbor, then there could be more of my viewers who could be having challenges with their children. And I said, why not come here and have this discussion so that we can understand how do we parent our children. And because the child in question was 5 years old, I'm going to look at the early development of a child, the years we call the formative years. So I'm going to look at the development, what is happening to our children as they grow. So I'm going to focus from 0 years to about 12 years, because that is when most psychosocial growth happens. And there are many things which are determined by the care the child gets at this particular level or stage of development. So I'm going to start with this child who is 0. You've just gotten your child, your bundle of joy handed over to you, and you're there. You're most likely a new parent or you're an old parent, but this is a new child, so you're a parent all over again. So where do you start? And at this age, when our children are 0 to 1 year, we're going to focus on their psychosocial growth, their psychological and their social development. What is happening? Because of course they are growing biologically. There's that biological growth where a child is gaining skills. They are able to control their neck. They are able to sit down, to crawl, to walk. But we're going to focus inside. What is happening psychologically to this child, and how does it determine what kind of personalities and what kind of adults they become? So, in the first years of life, the first days, when a child comes in to the family, the main duties which are there, the main roles, are actually about basic survival. This child has to feed. This child has to be protected against all harm. They are to be made warm and comfortable. So when this child's needs are filled and they are met promptly as they come, a child cries and we figure out they could be hungry and we breastfeed them or we give them formula milk. That time they are feeding on soft feeds. So we give them milk as it is. So this child feels a sense of comfort. They very soon start to cry again, and we figure out what could be happening. And you find this child is wet, and you change them. Maybe they are cold, and you put them into warm clothing, or they are overheating, and you reduce their clothing as it is. You control their temperature, and the child is now feeling comfortable. So this child learns to trust the environment. They learn at that early age to trust the people around them, to trust in the care of others. Unfortunately, if their needs are not met, and this child will be fed maybe erratically, sometimes they are fed, sometimes they are changed, sometimes they are not, then they become very anxious children. They become children who are afraid, children who are not, they cannot trust the environment. So they have they develop what we call either trust or mistrust for the environment, depending on the kind of care they give. So our role as caregivers at this time is to meet the needs of the child and develop that trust in them, hope, and that they can rely on others to take care of their needs as they grow, to take care of their insecurity. Otherwise, if they become mistrustful of the environment, they become very insecure people who cannot really settle or rely on the people around them. And then we move to the next stage when our children now turning to 2 years to 3 years. And at this time, we've seen the children we like to call the terrible twos. They want to do things. At this age, they are getting more on their feet. They are getting stable. And because of this, they want to do things for themselves. They want to be where everybody else is. They will climb tables, they will climb the stairs, they'll be in the kitchen trying to reach environments and areas which are higher than them. So at this stage, we are worried about their safety. But they're there trying to get what we call autonomy. They want to be autonomous, to do things for themselves. They want to discover the environment. So as a parent at this stage and a caregiver, what you need to do is to encourage this child to discover their environment. You need to help them to get basic skills like toilet training, to be able to use the toilet and clean after themselves, put on their clothes. So those are some of the basic things. So if you teach them to do these things and you encourage independence in this child, then they get that sense of autonomy, that they can do things for themselves. If you don't, if you're this overprotective parent or caregiver, you think they are going to fall, you think they are going to hurt themselves, then they get a sense of shame because of because of trying to do whatever they tried. So do not be very restrictive to this child. Within the limits of safety, allow them to explore their world, to get steady on their feet, and to do what they can do at that time. And then we move to the age between 4 years and 6 years. These are the preschoolers. They have gone to preschool. They're in PP1, they're in PP2. So with these children, at this age, they have what we call initiative. They're increasingly getting focused on doing things for themselves and achieving their own goals. So for caregivers, we need to be able to help these children to make these decisions so that they can follow their ambitions even when they get into grown children and into adulthood. Otherwise, if we criticize them too much for the issues, because they are not going to be perfect as it is. If you find yourself criticizing them too much, then they get a sense of guilt. They get a sense of failure at this stage. So we need to let them make their own plans, give them what we call age-appropriate roles. At this point, they can decide on what they want to wear. It may not be perfect, but let them wear something. They can put away their toys. They can help in setting the table at home. They can help in getting the dishes out of the table and taking them to the sink. They can clean their own dishes. So help them and guide them, support them so that they are able to move ahead with the kind of initiative that they are showing. Do not be the one restricting their efforts and trying to get them not to do the things they need to do, because if you do that, then they get a sense of guilt for even trying to pursue their desires, and there are people who grow up to be people who are not ambitious and people who are not confident. This one brings down their self-esteem and they believe in themselves that they can do anything. And then now, the last stage I'm going to focus in the formative years is the 7 years to 12 years. And these are children who are already in school. They are in primary school, lower primary school, class 1, going to class 4, 5. At this stage, they are very industrious. They are already stable, doing things for themselves. They can explore the world. So they want a sense of achievement. They are doing things. They want to build their self-esteem. They want to belong. They want to feel as good as their other peers. So they want to compare with those in their class. So they don't like to stand out as the ones not measuring up, not able like to be toilet trained, not able to partake of the duties others are doing. If they do that, if they are not supported well, they get into a sense of inferiority. They feel like they don't measure up and their self-esteem is battered. So as parents, we have a role to play to build our children so that they grow up to be responsible and balanced adults. As you can see, the psychosocial development, the personality of our children starts to develop very early in their age. So let's not wait and think these children will get formed when they're in their teenage years or when they are early adults. Some of the damage we realize with our children, which may be realized even at teenage years, started early. A child who would never learn to trust the environment, a child who was never given room to explore their environment, then they turn out to be very distrustful and adults, and they turn out to be problematic adults. So we need to help our children at this stage. So back to my neighbor's child, who at 5 years is throwing tantrums and not taking authority. What could be happening to this child? And basically, this is a child who does not feel that they have been given room for operation. This is a child who has not been supported to explore their environment and to do what is appropriate for them. So what we need to do as parents is to start setting rules and boundaries of operation for our children as early as possible. Children learn from what they observe. So we need to be consistent. When we say let us start training our children early, you can see even from the first day, you are already training your child either to trust the environment, to be an awful person, or to grow up to be an anxious and distrustful person, just by the way you meet their basic need. So as parents, we need to provide an environment which is predictable for our children. They need to know what is expected of them at what particular time. And as they grow, they are going to be able to follow these rules and to follow the order which is there. Give them room to explore themselves and to feel that they matter. They matter at their level. They should feel useful, build their personality, and build their self-esteem. So help this child, like at 5 years, from what we have said, this child at 5 years can do several things and they can be very useful in the house. So give them tasks which are appropriate for their age. At that age, this child can put away their toys. So let them know you play at this corner. And after you finish playing, then take your toys and put them at this particular corner. So every time this child plays at a different corner, then you need to bring them and tell them, this is the play corner, play here. And when they finish, you let them put away their toys to the right place. So once they do that over and over, then it becomes natural. They are not going to be fighting with their nanny or anybody else because already they know what the rules in the home is. They are not going to be answering back or being rude to you because they already know what the rules are in the home have been set. So the parents' role in our children's life at this time is to guide them and to mold them to grow up to be children who are dependable, to be children who believe in themselves, to be children of high self-esteem, and to be children who can interact and be responsible adults in the future. So we see children who are not guided, children who do not get the right guidance, then they become children who are kind of, we can say, confused. They don't know what the rules are. They don't know where the boundaries are. So they want to find their way. They want to get attention. Children need to know, for example, this is the time you can watch television, for example, and this is the time to go to sleep. So let them watch television and sleep at regular times every day. So once they do that over and over, they are not going to be fighting with anyone, not you, not your nanny, not even their elder siblings, because now they are being told to go and sleep and they feel that they need to continue watching the television. So let us reduce these areas of conflict so that we can bring up well-rounded children who are going to be responsible adults in the future. As parents, we have a role to play, and we have a very important role to play in our children's life to guide them to be well-rounded children, to guide their personality, to be children who follow rules, who respect order, and who respect guidance when it is given to them. So if a child is fighting with their nanny, they are fighting with authority because this is an authority figure. So if they don't learn to respect the authority in the house, then we are having trouble. By the time this child reaches teenage and they are growing physically, they're even going to be fighting other people outside there. So we need to be aware that what children see at home, what they do, is what they take out there, and it reflects on us as parents, on the kind of parenting we have given to our children. So thank you very much for your time. Feel free to keep coming to watch the Doctor BMS channel. This is a channel which educates us on all matters and topics on psychological well-being for ourselves and our families, one topic at a time. Please like this video and subscribe to the Doctor BMS channel. And if you have any problems, if you have any challenges at home with your child, with your children, feel free to reach out. Like my neighbor reached out. We have a working agreement on how we are going to help so that we can structure. 5 years is a good time. This is not too late. We can come in and help this child. So seek help from your neighbors, seek professional help. Help is available. We run the Fountain of Hope Addiction Treatment Center, where we help parents with adjustment problem, with parenting issues, so that we can bring up well-rounded children who are dependable and good role models and citizens for the future. Thank you very much for your time, and keep coming to watch our videos at the Dr. BMS channel. Good evening and stay well.